I wonder if you guys can hear the kids in the background playing in the pool. They're being so cute. So I'm gonna try and give a quick update and then do a garden tour because it is that time of year, which is a love-hate thing. But anyways, so it's been at least a year, probably a little bit over a year since I last did a video. We had just gotten goats. They were Nigerian dwarfs. But then we found out that I was pregnant. So this was July-ish. And then unfortunately we ended up having a miscarriage, and that took a lot out of me and the family. So we took some time off, and then we had decided to move again to his family's property to help out help out my husband's parents. And we moved probably in December, and then we moved home shortly thereafter, finding out that I was again pregnant, and it just didn't work out how we had hoped. So we are actually back home. So it was a whirlwind of a year essentially. So here we are back at home, pregnant with the 5th kid. I'm due in October of 23, so we're in July right now. So to say that it has been a whirlwind is an understatement. Did not expect to get pregnant over last summer and miscarry, let alone get pregnant again in the winter. And now expecting our 5th. Got about a couple more months to go, about 3-ish months. With 4 other kids, it's hard to keep track. I'm pregnant. Here we are. So that's where we're at. We don't have the goats anymore. We just figured that would just be too much for us to continue on because we had moved onto the property. We'd actually gotten a lot more, and we had started breeding them, so it just didn't make sense. So we sold them off to some nice people, and one day hopefully we can either do the Nigerians again, or we can actually get dairy cows. Our goal is to leave California at some point and get a farm and all that kind of stuff. But until then, we're going to make the best of what we have here in California, up in paradise on our little backyard. We still have our chickens. I'm going to give you a quick garden tour, as long as the kids let me, while they're playing in their little blow-up pool, and just see what we got. Kids playing in their little blow-up pool. One thing about up here that is both a curse and a blessing is that with the trees being gone, it's a lot hotter. I'm sure you guys have all seen memes with like the city being hotter because it's all concrete and no trees. Well, it's kind of the same thing up here. We have one tree in our yard, which is such a blessing to have, that I'm sitting under right now. And then the rest is just hot, hot, hot direct sun, which can be good for the garden, but it can also be a scorcher. These last few days, we did get up in the hundreds, which isn't too normal up here, I'm told. So we have shade cloth, doing the best. When we go through the garden, you'll see if anything didn't tolerate it. I think everything did, but we'll find out. A couple months ago, he does like to eat stuff out of my garden, so that's something that we are working on. So here is what we have so far. Some of the stuff is in the same place. Moved our compost over here. These are pots that I had the kids fill, because when we had dirt delivered last year, we just had so much left over, and they're still playing in it. But I figured this would be a good place to kind of do some more flowers. And so here we go. So I guess we'll start in this general direction. Is all like the blueberries except for this plant. This is just flowers. Got a new blueberry this year. Another one over here. The raspberries. can see I'm trying to fertilize some. The kids, my goodness. So when we did move to his parents' property, we did end up taking a lot of the garden with us, which is why it's not all completely in the same place. And what I'm about to show you is something that was interesting with the berries. They are definitely invasive, to say the least. So this orange bucket used to be right here. And as you can see, the raspberries went right through the bucket into the ground. But that's okay. If they can survive and through the landscape fabric that's here, by all means. But this is the jasmine. We didn't move this bed. This bed stayed here. And then this is what I had planted last year. Blackberries, I think. The tags are buried deep in there, so I am not going to be going through the thorns to find them. But the kids have really been enjoying these. As you can see, they've been eating off of them quite regularly. We got a good harvest on them. I just put up trellis and let them kind of go through. They've been kind of coming through here and out here. I will be moving the lavender in the fall somewhere else. But the jasmine was glorious. But then we have those lovely golden berries that I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to plant one in each corner of these first 3 beds. As you can see, they have taken over. But again, the kids are enjoying their treat. So the decision to have put those golden berries in the corner of the beds was, I knew that they were invasive, but I thought, oh, it'll contain them. Little did I actually think, in all my glory, was that they would extend into the bed like they have. So, lesson learned. But again, we're just enjoying the harvest from it this year, and the kids absolutely just love to forage out here at night, and I'll take it. So with this first bed that has the golden berries here, it's basically all peppers. We have bell peppers, poblanos, pepperoncinis, banana peppers, Tabasco, jalapenos, the hot and heavy from Proven Winners. I think that's about it. I think that's all we did this year. But in between, to kind of space management, we did butternut squashes, basically vining squashes. And then I have some pumpkins, more pumpkins that I planted on the back side over there. And I'm slowly going through, and I am cutting out the raspberry plants as I can, just to make sure that my peppers are getting enough sun and airflow. My butternut squash plants are not doing well this year. I had very, 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 very low germination, even with brand new seed packets this year. The old ones I can understand, but I bought some new ones and they're still not working really well. So I'm curious if anyone else is having that issue. The plant starts are also, from the ones that did germinate, are not doing very well. Like the ones behind me, they're very, very slow. They were planted at the same time as the pumpkins, and I've even started some more as backups, and those didn't make it. So I don't think it's anything I'm doing. I've never had a problem before, so maybe, I've even fertilized them. I've tried everything. So open to suggestions, or if anyone else is having that issue this year, it'd be nice to know. These are some of the little pumpkins that are coming up. Super excited. Didn't get to really stash any pumpkins last year with the move. I've got some peppers going, some flowers, kids in the pool. Over here we have zinnias and some herbs like lemon balm, basil. I think I got different kinds of lemon balm in here too. I think I did what is this? That's a mandarina. And that's just regular lemon balm. I wish I could give you smell-o-vision because it's just so wonderful back here. I need to start harvesting some of this and drying it. This is garbanzo beans. So first for me, we like our chickpeas. So we'll see how this turns out. Another sunflower. And then this is going to be all of our tomatoes. The next 3 beds essentially is tomatoes. So what you'll see in the tomatoes is that I'm a busy mom. I have 4. I'm pregnant with the 5th, so I don't know about y'all, but I'm in my late 30s. And this is probably the most exhausting pregnancy. So the first trimester, I basically laid on the couch and did bare minimum. And then coming here, and then coming home to here and starting the garden. I did it because I knew I would regret it. But it's a challenge to get every single thing done. Especially with the kids being as hyper as they are and getting through the school and just everything. So you'll notice that there's a lot of stuff that's on the ground or not as pretty or not as trellised. And I'm okay with that because it's still producing. So, exhibit A. Stuff just, fell down, grew down. This whole bed down here decided to have nothing but volunteers. And I will show you those if I haven't taken them out already. But we have about 40 tomato plants through these 3 beds. We have some few over there that I'll show you too. But as you can see, it's very, but you can see the fruit looks really, really good still. So like this one, I was trying to weave it in here into the trellis and I broke the main stem. So as you can see, this is what happens when that happens, is that everything bushes out. And because of that, I do have a stake here trying. This one I had actually tied up. And as you can see, it's stretched. There's more laying in here. It is now evening time because the kids ended up needing a lot more attention and the phone overheated. Didn't like the heat. So it's probably better lighting anyways. So this is the crazy bed that has all the extra pop-ups in it. But then also my ingenious idea of putting carrots in between with the tomatoes. As you can see, a little bit much. These are my Amish paste here on the corner. Not sure if it's a dog or something else, but they're not doing too happy. They keep falling off. And then over here is the rest of, or another part of the jungle. As you can see, have that one down. And the golden berries popping through. Had every intention of these ones in the middle of cutting them down and back. But they're already flowering up there. Hello. This poor thing is very slanted and coming apart, so we're kind of not really utilizing it that much. As you can see, it's mainly like herbs. These are actually all volunteers from last year. Some sunflowers I put in there. I'm trying to transplant a bunch of my strawberries. When we get over there, you'll understand why. But look. Radishes were in here. I did try lettuce, but again, this bed is very in the middle of the sun constantly. Just not a happy camper with that. Got my German chamomile. I got some chives. Just some other herb, basil. These sunflowers are coming along nicely. So here's the 3rd bed of tomatoes. This is from last year, a comfrey plant. I had a calendula plant here and another comfrey in there. And I actually transplanted one into this pot and I've cut it back like twice. It's just going to town. This is my fennel, or one of them from last year. Like, I don't even know if I can, it's just huge. There what used to be another one in this corner and I took that out, bulb and all. This one I've just been kind of cutting back and it just keeps going. Tell me what y'all use fennel for, besides the medicinal. So in here, through the jungle, whee! Down here, this is one tomato plant that is literally growing out as a volunteer from last year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a snacker because that's what I believe I had here last year. But it's doing pretty well. We'll just see if, let it go. See how it does. Look at this thing. Look at this. So cat-faced. Very interested to see how that one comes out. There's a lot. It's not a jungle that I mind. Ooh. So we did so many tomatoes because the kids actually eat them like apples, apparently. They want them constantly. I wanted enough to preserve, to eat. I've been craving them like crazy, like the brown butter open face sandwiches that I made last year. So good. And then a lot of them that I'm going to show you in a second are also the little snackers. So the kids just come out here every morning so far, and they're looking for those ripe tomatoes. Every once in a while they get one, and they're excited. So comfrey is actually pretty invasive. Didn't know that, unfortunately. This is I just cut this back today to mulch some of the beds. But this was a product of one of those that was popping up. Been kind of keeping an eye on it. This Roma tomato and this Roma tomato, actually I guess all three, pretty small. I don't remember them being that small before. But this side, it's not as crazy. These just look so weird to me. I don't remember what these are. Oh, these are the mushroom baskets. So that makes sense. See how they taste. These are the little pear drop ones. Kids absolutely love these. This bed, these are the first year artichokes. I read that I was supposed to let them go the first year because it needed a cold snap, but I think that may have been incorrect. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the smaller plant, and as you can see, it's got a bunch forming on here. There's 5 total in here. Did it in kind of like a star pattern. So the big one in the middle. And then I have one on each corner. You can see this one. I've been cutting the leaves, but they're just not getting very much. And there goes the puppy. More sunflowers, some basils, sunflowers. These are green noodle beans going up, 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 and over. I just love the trellises. Can't wait for it to fill in. Hey, Titan. We just pulled our peas out yesterday, so we have carrots in the middle of those. Kids have been snacking on them. We just planted some more noodle beans just to kind of get them up and over again. This is where I mulched with the comfrey. No thanks. Then we just kind of have some odds and ends. We have some oregano, lemon balm, more sunflowers, calendula, obviously, which is all volunteers from last year. I have strawberries interspersed on the side. What? Lemon balm. Don't remember. And it's not ringing a bell. I think it's a flower. The nasturtium's kind of woohoo. More basils. I just cut the lavender today. This was a transplant from over behind all of this. It was getting smothered. Some starts that I have left. But like I said, these are pretty petered out. I mean, this is the butternut squash. Meh. I have some ground cherries still I want to put in, and some cucamelons, and we'll see. Green stalk. This squash plant is a volunteer. This is where we had all of our acorn spaghetti nut acorns and butternuts and squash and the sweet, whatever, all of those things last year. So I did plant some sunflowers, and I did plant some more basil in there. But this, I'm gonna guess it's a spaghetti, unless it gets a little different looking. It might be a butternut, which would be nice considering, like I said, they're not doing that well. Greenstock did send me a cap, their automatic waterer, excuse me, to try out and to write a review on. So I will be doing that as soon as we get a minute to hook it up to our water system and see how that goes. He also, I think it was a journal that I'll do a little review on, but that's coming up soon. So in the Greenstock is basically a lot of volunteers, like the milkweed. Then, like I said, I've been transferring the sad little strawberry plants. There is a lot of milkweed throughout here. Rosemary, thyme, marjoram. Have some sage over there. Some chives you can see I cut off of. Sad little basil. Just, but yeah, I like using this for herbs and everything. This, I believe, is a spoon tomato. It's the only one that has not died out. This used to be over on our little back patio and got a lot less sun. But with the automatic water, I get to move it farther away from the house. So again, more the milk thistles, more the milkweed, not milk thistles. Some herbs down there. I almost want to say that's the comfrey I transplanted and I've cut back a bajillion times. Same thing with that. It's kind of hard to, this is the flattest place we could find to put it out here in the garden. We took it off its little wheels too. This is a little rock area. Kids like to collect the rocks and put it in there. This was somewhat of a winter bed. I had broccoli and cauliflower all back there. Clearly it's gone. This is one of my asparagus beds too. You can kind of see them ferning out. So all 4 of these beds have asparagus right down the middle. It was another one of my ingenious ideas. I wish I would have just put them all in one bed. As you can see, I've let some of them go when they kind of got a little thin. This is only the 2nd year that I've had them, but I bought large crowns last year. And so we harvested pretty well off of these. You can see they're pretty big. The ones that are like this, that are big, is because Mama got busy and they sprout up like nobody's business if you don't catch them in time. So I'll cut these down soon. I have more squash back here starting. Yeah. Just green zucchini. I think I have spaghetti squash back here. Then I have my sunflower, because you just can't have enough of those. Yeah. I'm going to start training this one back. During those 100-degree days, we really weren't coming outside very much. So a lot of things have gotten away. So yeah, I'll have to come back and cut it out of that. These are some red noodle beans, which look like they're actually starting. I had a really tough year, or a really tough start, I should say. As you can see, it looks like roly-polies, I think, were coming through and just eating all of my starts. So that's why a lot of them were done in containers for me this year. But got spaghetti. And just another pretty trellis. It's already going up and over from the beans. Gotten a couple heads of cabbages. It looks about done. Didn't bulb up too big, but like I said, we're super hot out here. These ones I've been leaving for the insects. Because as you can see, they didn't do that well. And then the leeks, they're about done. I need to pull them. I think this is the first time I've ever actually done them. And then this is celery. I put them in the coolest place I could think of for our garden. And they're just not very big. So I'll give them a little bit more time. I'm not hurting for the space right now. These are tomato snackers. Kids have already gotten a few off of them. Have some more over here. See? So this is one plant. Then over here is one other tomato. And we're trellising it up. It's working out quite nicely. Over here, I believe these are the bush tomatoes. And then these are the Kentucky Wonder Beans that are going up and over. This is the hot mess of the strawberries. At least one bed. So with strawberries, one thing that new gardeners need to understand is left unattended. They're little runners. Do this and take over completely. So what I've been doing this season, seems to really have been working, is every single day I'm going through and I'm cutting those runners. And we've gotten a huge harvest of the strawberries this year. Like, we actually have some in the freezer. The kids and I couldn't get through them. So highly recommend that. But this is one of the beds where, as I'm pulling the runners, if last year's runners didn't root properly and they just pop right out, that's what you're seeing around the garden. Is I'm just trying to transplant them. They live, they die, to each their own. I have more. So it's just a little experiment. I did do a video before on something similar to that I can link below, of when I just went through and cut all the runners, whether they rooted or not, and put them in little pots, gave them a chance to root. And that's actually what we brought over here when we moved. And I had to give a lot away. We had probably 6-7 dozen strawberries, and that's way more than I wanted. I only wanted 24 per bed, if that. Pregnancy heartburn. It's so fun. In the evening, oh, Lord have mercy. So this is a little peppermint plant, like the little flowers. It's not edible. It'll reseed itself. I think the kids came out here and decided to. Hi. He needs attention. Nope. Little sunflower that's starting out. These are a row of bush beans, about halfway. Again, asparagus is in here. This is why I don't recommend strawberries and asparagus if you're busy, because as you can see, they overtook it, and asparagus does not like to get weeded out. Another beautiful sunflower. So as you can see, we still have, we'll let the kids pick those tomorrow, but asparagus, there's a weed I need to get. These weeds suck because you cannot grab them without gloves, which is why it's gotten so big. It's because I always forget. Down here, just more strawberries. I do have, what is that? Honeydews that I've transplanted. Trying to see if I can get them to take off. If not, no biggie. But like this, here's a runner. Just pull. My dog does not like those. Let's see, just through here, all these. You can take this and just root it in some dirt. And those little things right there will root for you. But I just come in here and pull. Survive. And then even down here, see, they're coming through the thing. This, I believe, is a cantaloupe. Oops, cantaloupe going up. I'm kind of training it. It's going slow, but it is competing. I could probably come through here and fertilize it soon. Yep. And then I think these are actually, this side of the trellis is volunteer beans. So we'll see. But it's pretty. I just love it. Although the tomatoes and the beans are going to compete, so I'm not letting the beans go completely over. I am kind of redirecting them back down or the other way. Rather have tomatoes. There's a little ant trap in there, which we have one in this bed and the far bed, and it seems to have really taken care of our issue. But look, the kids will be so excited in the morning. There's another one, maybe a couple by then. This is our third snacker going up a trellis. I think this is another pear drop. Yep. This is alfalfa hay left over from last year when we had goats. We've given a lot to the chickens for bedding. That's all we have. Oh, and we put a lot in the compost. So this is a lot of herbs. Strawberries again, but it did not overtake for whatever reason. More asparagus in the middle. Like, these were good yesterday. I just forgot to pick them. More basils, lemon basils. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. Oh, just come out here. So I am leaving these just because of the pollinators. The same with this. These are some scallions. And then some ground cherries. But yeah, I got more runners. So you just come out, pick them, take stock of where the kids can go find. I thought I saw it running over here. Over here, another trellis. These are sugar baby watermelons that are going to go up and over, hopefully. This one didn't root, I don't think. It's in the... I'll find out. Hi. So, sugar baby watermelons. Moving on up. This side is Armenian cucumbers that I had to do transplants on that I did because they were just... they'd get eaten the minute they sprouted in these beds. Yeah, there's still a lot of strawberries. So, these need to go up and over. More herbs, another sunflower. These are cucumbers. And they've produced one so far. It's beautiful. Can't wait for them to go up. More cucumbers over here. So as you can see, this strawberry side took over. And I barely got any asparagus out of this side. This side I have a few flimsy ones. These were the purple ones. These are purple passion on both sides. Not a fan. Get out of there, dude. No, thank you. Oh, puppies. This is a volunteer tomato, and it looks like it's going to be Black Beauty, maybe? I didn't plant any of those this year. And you can see it's not staked, so I'm just kind of letting it go. And this is my sad, sad bush. Tomato plant over here. I got a hornworm off of it yesterday. Poor thing. Same with that one. Got some zinnias. And over here is more of my squash. So we have the early, I believe it's called the early yellow squash. And it's not crookneck specifically, but it's like it, obviously. A couple plants in there of that. Then we have an acorn. It's producing beautifully. Well, at least one so far. And then this plant back in here is the zucchini that I've gotten two off of. This is a pink butternut. So we'll see. It's producing. We'll see how it goes. Just trellising them out. And then this is a little tester in-ground bed next to the chickies. kind of scraped off a couple inches, added some gypsum because it's clay under there, some compost, and some worm castings. That's what the dark color is you see on top. We planted some zinnia seeds, sunflower seeds, and another row of bush beans. And then these are various squashes or pumpkins even that I did from transplant. Yep, that's another pumpkin. Just kind of watch and see how they do. Ideally, I would like to get a lot more in-ground in here, so this is why we're testing it out, to see how it does with just that little bit of work. We don't really want to till or anything. Post-fire, there's a lot of stuff in the ground that we keep coming across. You know, burnt wood, not a big deal, but there's also trash and everything. So, we'll see. So far, so good. And so, it's almost 9 o'clock here in the evening. It's our little peaceful garden. Love coming out here. Just wish I could have some wine right now. Maybe next year. And then before I forget, these are 2 more elderberries from this year. I believe I got them from Emma Gardner. This one actually berried up, flowered and berried, so trying to see. And then as you can see, more strawberries. Can't have enough strawberries. And this is the comfrey that, as you can see, I cut all up. Elderberry. And then my little workstation. And then this is where the kids and I hang out quite a bit. The white stuff is like a calcium powder that fell. Yeah, I got a little table and everything. Would like to get another compost, maybe just a fence type compost. So do like a 1, 2, 3. What I do hope to keep showing is a lot of encouragement. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have learned a lot over these last several years through others and through mistakes that I've made, like I've pointed out tonight with like the berries and the asparagus and the strawberries. So hopefully I can save some other people from doing the same things or give them ideas. As far as family life, I would like to start discussing things like with my pregnancy, past pregnancies, what I've seen over the years as a nurse, what I've seen when I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy and did labor and delivery, things like that, to kind of bring awareness to a broken system. Things that I've learned from in my own experiences, things that I've learned from just in education outside of the normal medical model. Other things I'd like to go over is the homeschooling. Homeschooling is such a blessing, and I don't think that's talked about nearly enough, and especially in this world. My daughter is going to pick berries right now with a book in her arm that she's been reading this whole time. The foraging is just amazing. Needed a snack before bed? Got bored with your book? So with that, I'm gonna go inside and go to bed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.